Hi there, this is Professor Richard Juris, and I wanted to make you a quick video, a beginner's guide to tripods to show you what type of tripod to buy if you're going to be doing photography, primarily still photography with a film camera or a digital camera, but not for video. So the first thing I want to show you is a mistake a lot of people buy, a lot of beginning students buy, or they instead of looking around, or going to B&H's website, they'll just run down to Walmart or one of the big box stores and just simply see a tripod, and they'll say, hey, it's only $25 or $30, and I'll buy this. And it's just like wasting your money. It's throwing your money away because it's a tripod you'll never really use or be able to take good pictures with. So, for film photography or digital photography, single image, not video, you want a good tripod. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the tripod not to buy and why. So this I went to video tripods actually, and this is the brand that I prefer, that's being made right now. It's Monofrado, and I I really like this brand of tripods, and this company bought out Bogan tripods. So I'll talk about Bogan tripods in a little bit because sometimes you can find them at a garage sale or at a thrift store or something. And if you find one, and you can grab one for around $150, they're usually well worth it. I did have a student that bought one that was really worn out, and he could have told that from looking at it, I think. But so if you're buying something at a thrift store or something and it's all beat up, I probably would avoid it. But if you see one that looks like brand new, and it's $150, I would probably go ahead and buy that. But so let's look at this tripod right here, the Monofrado, and we'll just pick this one out right here, and I'm just gonna click on this right here to open this up. And this is the reason that you don't want to buy one of these video tripods to use for photography or to use for single image still photography, is that this only tilts one way. So it tilts forward and it tilts backwards, but it does not tilt side to side, and that's what you need, and it's the head. Now, if you do have one of these, say somebody gives you this, you can buy a head to put on it that'll tilt three ways, like a ball head, um, or a trigger head where you just squeeze the thing and you can rotate it anyway because it has a ball in it that that'll rotate all different ways. But and so the head comes off it. So here's the tripod right here with the head off of it, and you can just screw another head onto that if you end up getting one of these, but like from somebody. But I would not just, most of these tripods you can buy them with a head on it. So if you're buying one, you might as well buy it with a photography head on it, rather than a video head. So again, this is what the video head looks like, and it only tilts forward and backwards, so it doesn't go side to side. So if you're like leveling out like a horizon line in your picture, because you always want your horizon line to be level from the left side to the right side, the same distance from the top of the horizon to the bottom of the horizon on both sides of the picture, a straight horizon line, that you can't do that with this kind of tripod head. So video tripods are basically out. Now, there's also a little video, if you're looking at these, that Monofrado put out, and I'm going to actually show it in my studio photography class, but it's pretty funny, so you can look at that under one of these Monofrado video tripods. They have a thing about why you should buy a Monofrado tripod. But some of these prices won't be available when you look at this, because I'm looking at B&H's website during Cyber Week. And again, a little shout out to B&H. I'm not funded in any way by them or associated with them, but I've been buying stuff from them since around 1977. So I've been buying stuff from them for a long time. And when I was in charge of the photography area at Sinclair College, I bought almost all of our stuff from them. We continue Sinclair continues to buy a lot of their chemistry and everything from them. So a lot of people like to just shop locally, and if that's the case, that's fine. But you won't be able to find the assortment of stuff locally that you can find at B&H. So you can certainly pick out a tripod if you want to give your money to a local business, and pick out a tripod on here, print it up, take it in, and have them order it for you. And pay them some extra money for ordering it. But so I'm going to get out of the video tripods right now, but I just wanted to show you do not want to buy a video tripod for a studio photography class, or if you're planning on doing studio photography and portraits and so forth. You do not want a video tripod. So let's click out of this, and we're going to go here now to the regular tripods that are made for film. And again, I didn't go through and like totally select, but I'm just looking at Monofrado, and this is a top seller, and it's $188 for this tripod. So you might actually think that's a lot, but it's actually very cheap. It's a question of where your priorities is. I'll tell a quick little story here to kind of set the mood for what priorities is. Because I'm assuming you're beginners. Most of the people looking at this video are going to be beginners, and they want to be photographers. So the first thing you got to decide in your mind is if you really want to be a photographer. If you want to be a photographer, you have to spend money and get the equipment. Now, I had a guy in my class that kept talking about wanting to be a photographer, and he wanted to open up a studio, and this was a couple of years ago, and to my knowledge, he still doesn't have a studio, but he did have a full sleeve of tattoos on his arm. So, when he was in the class, and I have nothing against tattoos, and I wish I had some. I don't have any because I don't want to pay for them. I won't spend the money on a tattoo, but I will spend money on photo equipment and things that I need. But again, it's a matter of priorities. But this guy in the class, I showed these tripods and stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, that's really nice. I think I'm gonna buy that. I think I'm gonna buy some studio lights." And during the whole class, he got by with buying hardly anything because he didn't want to spend the money. And a couple weeks after class was over, he showed this picture of his arm with a new tattoo on it. That had to cost $300 or $400 because I know tattoos are expensive. I have a lot of friends that have some really nice tattoos, and I know what they spend. So he would spend $300 or $400, on a tattoo, but he won't spend $188 on a tripod, which is, I'm not even going to say what I think about that. But so you have to set your priorities straight in life, I think, if you want to open a photo studio, because it does take dedication. It does take desire and a love of photography if you want to, and you have to put everything, into it. I think if you want to have a successful photography business, it can't be just something you do, a couple hours a day, and that's the kind of business, you're never going to make a living at it. So if you want to make a living at photography, you have to go full heart into it. And once you do that, and I think you'll find out that you could start making some money. But let's just look at this tripod right here. Let's click on this. There we go. So this is, really a cheap tripod, $188. But one of the things that you want to look at here, so this has a three-way head. So the head will tilt, from left to right, and it'll tilt forward to backwards. When you're tilting it, and that's what's important. So you screw your camera onto this plate. This plate attaches to the tripod, and then you can move your camera either way. But some of the things you need to look at, some of the key features on the tripod is the maximum height, the minimum height, the load capacity, depending upon what you're going to be taking pictures of. Now, I also look at, let's see, we'll click under more details here. Find it. I always look at the tripod's weight, and this has a whole video about this tripod, which is nice. But I want a tripod for the studio that weighs a lot. So here's the specs right here. Let's click on this. I want a tripod that's heavy. So here's the load capacity. But let's see if this shows what the actual weight is. So the weight is 3.9 pounds here. That's not a super heavy tripod. That's pretty lightweight. So, this a 4-pound tripod would be good if you were like for taking to weddings and stuff and, location shooting. And you can see in here, it's not a super heavy duty tripod. But when you're looking for a tripod, whether it's a Monofrado or another brand, if you're going to be using it, primarily in the studio, I would get one of the heaviest tripods that you can get, simply so that it doesn't move. so that it will be solid and give you, no movement during your pictures. You want a very solid tripod, when taking pictures. And then there's different types of heads that you can find. Let me find a different one. So here's a tripod. Another, again, it's a Manfrotto, but it's one that I picked out that has a ball head. Now, what a ball head is there's just like basically a ball in this socket right here. So you can swivel this any way you want. And it also has like a cutout right here. So if you wanted to point this straight down at the ground, like say you were taking a picture of something on the ground, you could also do that. And what I did with this particular one, this one's a little bit pricey, but what I did is I went under the weight selection and I picked out one of the heavier ones. So this is just to show you something like I would buy if I was starting a photo business, a photo studio, and I was going to be doing portraits of people. There's a lot of people right now that are just starting out studios that are and they're calling them headshots. And they're basically, because there's so many different businesses around and stuff these days, that a lot of people will just shoot their headshot with a cell phone. But a lot of the business people, the people that are really making some money, they just want to stop in a studio in the morning on their way to work or at lunchtime and have some professional headshots done. And this is the kind of tripod that would be perfect for that, because it's going to hold your camera very steady, and you can just rotate it a little bit left to the right, up and down, to get everything framed up in it the way you want to. And then it's going to mount solidly. So it has a little lever right here that you push, and it's going to lock this ball head up so it does not move. And that's basically what you want, is you want a very solid tripod. So what I wanted to show you right now is a Bogen tripod. And again, this is the Manfrotto bought out Bogen and started manufacturing under their own name. But this is the old style of tripod, again, made in Italy. I believe the Manfrotto tripods are, probably made in Italy. It's an Italian company, but so these are monster tripods. I mean, this thing weighs a lot. It's from the 1980s. This is a used one. I found this on Etsy, and I just typed in Bogen tripod. So I'm not saying to go buy this one, but you can look around. Again, I've seen these. I actually picked one up for $80 at a Goodwill store. So, and they had it priced. I mean, $80 at a Goodwill store is a lot of money, but they kind of knew what it was, or they just knew it was a good thing. But again, it'll have the a camera tripod head on it. This has the 3047 head, which I've worked with a lot. And this works great for even like a heavier camera, like a View camera. Or Mamiya RB67. This is actually the tripod that I used when I had a photo portrait studio, and I had an RB67 mounted on it and just left that set up like that in the studio for doing portraits. So this 30x47 head. So these heads come off of there like I showed you in the video tripod. You could put different heads on here. You could put a ball head on here or something, but it's the legs and stuff that are massive and thick and heavy. And again, that's what you're looking for in a tripod, not these chintzy little aluminum things like you find at Walmart. So anyway, I just wanted to make this a short video. I kind of went a little overboard, but so again, if you're looking for a tripod, and it's primarily for studio photography, and you're going to just keep it in the studio, then I would get the heaviest one possible. And you could get, if you were looking for one to take like to weddings and stuff, to do like the bridal portraits and like the group shots and everything, I always shot those with my camera, on a tripod, so I could take a look at everybody and make sure everybody's looking good without having to be, I'll get into that later with wedding photography, but you want a tripod that you can carry around too, so you can get a lighter one. But this one's perfect for using in the studio. So anyway, I hope that helps. If that helps, please hit the thumbs up, and give me a thumbs up on the video, and then also please hit the subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button. Tell all your friends, tell all your classmates, and to subscribe, and let's get this channel going. So thank you again. This was Professor Richard Juris.